Monica Fullerton with us today. She married her high school sweetheart and he happened to join the Air Force, and she ended up becoming a military spouse and everything that comes with that. And she's quickly learned, like I know I have, and a lot of you have who are in the military or were military spouse yourself. Military spouses are creators, they're makers, they're entrepreneurs, they're out there doing. But a lot of them, as they fulfill those passions, they're doing it between deployments and PCSs, and they're still running these full-time businesses. But a lot of times there's not a central location to shop and support all of the deserving entrepreneurs within the military community. And therefore, we have Monica and her company, Spousely. So I'm going to let her tell you more about Spousely and how it's helping all these military and first responder families be a part of the greater community. So I will turn it over to you, Monica.
Thanks, Jake, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We are switching gears over into the e-commerce world. So good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I am Monica Fullerton. I am a proud Air Force spouse, a twin mom, and a corporate businesswoman turned entrepreneur out of my own pure frustration and inspiration. Did you know that there are over 12 million military spouses between active duty and veteran, and 48% of them are self-employed, small business owners, or aspire to be? And with millions of businesses owned by our nation's heroes, there is not one central location to shop and support their businesses. Because of this, I launched Spousely, which is an online marketplace to shop a wide variety of both products and services, all created by military and first responder families. It is through our one-of-a-kind platform that anyone can shop small, make a big impact, and purchase with a purpose. But Spousely is so much more than just an online marketplace. It has turned into an entrepreneurial hub, that central location. We're providing our community with tools and resources, community, and we've expanded to so many other opportunities like corporate gifts, which makes me so excited because, like I said, sometimes when people hear an online marketplace, they think, oh, it's just shopping. But for our community, it's so much more. It's providing flexibility, stability, and that creative outlet when needed most, like Jake mentioned. So you're probably wondering who's shopping on Spousely, who's seeing Spousely as a resource, as a place to really put more funds in the pockets of our nation's heroes. Well, our core focus is the B2C market, and we found that most of our consumers are either military or first responder connected. And also a lot of our vendors turn into our customers. So we're really trying to target those families that have a near and dear focus on supporting our nation's heroes. We've also seen that the B2B market is also a huge opportunity for us. We have many corporate partners and corporate companies coming to us to either source their corporate gifts or to work with us to have a strategic partnership where we're helping them really learn more about our community and why these small businesses mean so much. And then lastly, we've got organizations. We have so many amazing partners where like-minded companies are teaming up, we're spreading our mission, we're supporting our community, and we're really making that greater impact together. So you're probably wondering, how do we make money? Well, Spousely is mirrored very much like Etsy on the product side, and on the service side, like Angie's List. So I like to call it, think Etsy meets Angie's List, but with a focus on shopping for social good and supporting our nation's heroes. So on the product side of Spousely, everything is very similar to Etsy, where there's the low subscription fees, and then we take a 10% fee from each transaction. About 6 to 7% currently is going to Spousely, and the rest is going to Stripe for our merchant fees. As we continue to grow and build, we know that we can increase those fees, but first it's really important to continue bringing more consumers and more support to our community. And then on the service side, which is mirrored very similar to Angie's List, it's a low annual fee to be on the platform. Currently, it's only $35 a year, but that's because it's just a marketing platform only. My original thought process was, well, people are always looking online to shop, so let's get them online to shop, but also show them that they can come back to Spousely to hire a service provider, which is anything from marketing companies, CPAs, legal, and the list goes on. We actually are also working on some expansion opportunities to really grow out and build the service side to be more robust, because that's an area that we know that we can easily increase those fees and put more attention to. And then lastly, our corporate gifting, like I mentioned, is a huge, huge opportunity. These are companies that are coming to Spousely to really change the narrative in a corporate setting. So we all know corporate companies have big budgets to spend on corporate gifting. And at the end of the day, people really just don't want, branded swag all the time that they're not going to use. So what we're doing is we're helping them source and curate more meaningful gifts. We just recently did an awesome project with one of our corporate partners, which is Elevon and US Bank, where they came to us. We put together a number of different gifts that could be included in these boxes that they wanted to give to their customers. And inside of those boxes was a candle, was some spices, was a children's book, and I forget what else, I think some room spray, stuff that people could actually use. And there was a card inside of it that talked about each vendor and how they're supporting their story and their business. So as you can see, there's just so many opportunities with having that one central location. So with a multi-vendor marketplace, we have to have both customers and vendors. So on the consumer side, there are over 263 million consumers that shop online, and 70% of those consumers are looking to shop small and make a bigger impact. And we know that those patriotic consumers are always looking for ways to support. As a military spouse myself, I know that, there's so much that goes beyond just saying thank you for your service. It's really finding ways to help put more funds in the pockets of these families, and supporting their businesses is one key way to do that. So we're looking at really a $14 million opportunity, and that can expand to much more, but just kind of dialing in on what I know we can capture with the right marketing and support. So then we have the vendor side, and military spouse entrepreneurs are on the rise. And as the name kind of alludes to itself, Spousely, our core focus is always going to be helping spouses, because at the end of the day, military families relocate on average every 2 to 3 years, which really makes it hard for spouses to hold a career doing something they truly love, which is why many are turning to entrepreneurship to be able to control their own outcome. Now, with it being a focus on just spouses, we do have a number of different business owners as well. All of our vendors are approved through our partnership with GovX. They have, it's called GovX ID. It's basically like ID Me. So all of our vendors are approved military spouses, veterans, veteran spouses, service members, Gold Star families, and first responder families. So as you can see from that stat that I mentioned earlier, if we even take just that around 6 million number alone, just in the spouse world, and we open that up to veterans and first responders, we are looking at a huge, huge opportunity, enough to sustain its own entire marketplace. So I really want to focus on that 8 million range. And even if, as you can see, if we capture just 1% of that, we are still creating and building that greater impact through our marketplace. So since launching right before the global pandemic, great timing, we have continued to prove that our mission is viable and impactful. I have been a bootstrapping solopreneur. So as you can see that we've continued to just grow and scale just through the power of our community. Everything has been very tight from a marketing standpoint. So we have gone from 0 vendors to over 500 vendors within the past 3 years. We're over $220,000 in gross revenue, over 5,000 products sold, and over a 1.9 million people reached between our platform, our social media, and our impact that we're making. So as you can see, it was really, really important to me to pour a very strong foundation to continue to prove that our mission is viable and impactful, and which leads me to why it's so important to continue putting that fuel that we need to make Spousely a household name. So our competitors, obviously, we're stacking up against Amazon military, which many times people don't even really know it's out there, but it's essentially kind of what I'm doing as well. But it's Amazon, and it doesn't really go hand in hand with supporting small businesses. And then, of course, we've got Etsy and we've got Angie's List. But what truly makes Spousely unique is we are directly embedded in the military space. With me being a military spouse myself, I know firsthand what our community needs and how we're able to support them no matter where this lifestyle takes them. So our focus is 100% on military connected and first responder owned businesses. We have both product and service-based businesses, which our competitors do not. And we have those low cost for barrier to entry. So we want to make sure that we are really showing the value of a place like Spousely and continuing to build and grow together. And what I love about Spousely, it's such a beautiful circle of a business model where the more we grow, the more we're directly putting funds in the pockets of all of these military and first responder small business owners. So it's a really, really nice opportunity. We have a very small but mighty team. We have myself, we have a veteran, we have a military supporter, and another military spouse. And we are just constantly continuing to be as resourceful as possible and have continued to just bring everything together that we know to really amplify and get Spousely everywhere with that tight budget that we're currently working on. And then we've got our advisors. All of them have amazing backgrounds in different areas. To me, it was very important, even though I haven't been able to fully make more full-time hires or anything like that. We've got people that are hands-on, that are passionate about seeing Spousely succeed. So what we're doing now is we are moving into the next phase of Spousely. Like I mentioned before, it was so important to me to pour that strong foundation. When I quit my corporate career about 2.5 years ago, it was a huge risk. I was very used to making a really great salary, working full-time, remote, traveling, all the things. From a checkbox standpoint, I was doing it. But for me personally, the passion was missing. And I started to see just how many incredible and inspiring other makers, creators, and entrepreneurs there were out there that I knew I had to do something. So since I quit my corporate career, everything has been just very tight. And the most that we've been spending on marketing and like ads is like around $500 a month, which we all know is not doing anything. It's basically just retargeting, keeping lights on. So now it's time to truly take Spousely to the next level, and we need some jet fuel to do it. And we're asking for $500,000, and we are looking to really increase our marketing efforts, making a few other key hires, and constantly improving our technology for the vendor and consumer process. So I really hope that you would reach out, ask me some questions, learn more about how amazing our community is. I get asked all the time, why Spousely over Etsy? And to be honest, it's a no-brainer to me. Our community superpower is support. And if we can continue to just build our own entire marketplace and support one another in both life and in business, we are able to, honestly, the sky's the limit. There's so much that we can do. There's so many other avenues. We have a ton of media opportunities. We're working on a media arm off of Spousely because we've continued to see at the end of the day, these small business owners come to a marketplace like Spousely for a reason. They want help with getting the word out there about their business, and they want to be alongside a like-minded community. So that's all I've got for you today. Very excited to announce last week, I was just named on the Inc. Female Founder 200 list and have been on the Forbes Next 1000 list. And honestly, it just continues to show that we've got the power. We were able to do what we want to do. We just need the right help to get there. That's all I got, Jake.
All right, Monica. But I got to tell you, this is always exciting to go through. And I want to build on that. So I have my list here because I cannot remember them all and brag on you for a minute here, right? So you have got for the awards, Trailblazer in Tech by Military Spouse Magazine, Forbes Next 1000 list, on the Mighty 25 list of the most influential leaders supporting the military community, named the Entreprenista 100 list, Inc. Female Founder. I'll just stop here to go through. So how are you? So these are amazing, right? So congratulations to you, but
thank you.
Can you tell me how you've been using that in your marketing so far?
Yeah, being able to have these kind of recognitions is huge because it's showing that, we're not just here to play small. We are here to truly make a big impact. At the end of the day, the sooner that we can get Spousely recognized as the go-to marketplace to shop and support military and first responder owned businesses, the sooner that like I said, I know that we're putting more of those funds in the pockets of all these amazing families. So I really see it as, a step process where we're really making our mark. We're getting our name out there, really strong brand recognition, as well as people want to invest in other people, right? So for me, being a military spouse, having that corporate background and really, sharing my own story of how I had to pivot in my own journey is really something that I hope that I can use to help inspire others to see that you can do something that you love while living this life. Sometimes we just need the extra support to get there.
So, well, the thing I want to track, I don't know if people figured out what you had said in there, but I mean, you essentially have been bootstrapping this whole thing. I mean, you went from what you started with 30 something vendors, you're up to 500 in the middle of COVID and all the things that we're doing, but you've spent, I mean, $500 is nothing, right?
Yeah.
So you've grown that. So it's like, that's here, what you would be able to do would be crazy with having dollars to be able to spend on true marketing. You technically have not done that, if I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yes, correct. Like I said, when I was still my first year, still working my corporate career, I had the funds to be able to get everything where it's at today. But obviously, after going all in on Spousely, that number just slowly started to go down. So what we've been able to do is just really get the power of community to come together and continue to share the word. So everything really at this point, our growth has truly been word of mouth, which is why I know it's so important to just really be able to put the right marketing budget and marketing opportunity behind Spousely, so we can continue growing and building.
When you go back 2.5 years and your come decision to do this, what is it that you saw that goes, here's a problem with the military spouse community to address that's like, okay, Monica's the right person to do this, and now is the time. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I'll share something a little personal, and I don't love saying it out loud, but it's the truth. And I know there's so many other spouses out there that can resonate with this. It's, the first few years of being a military spouse, I told nobody I was a military spouse. I was very career driven. I never wanted it to limit my opportunities. And sadly, oftentimes there's just a bias around our community. When people hear military spouse, they think of limiting. They think, okay, we're going to be moving all the time, or maybe you don't have this, or you can't do that. And it pisses me off. Nothing boils my blood more than hearing that, because there are so many incredible and inspiring, military spouses out there that are innovators, creators, that are taking the leap and are making it all of it work. So for me, it has been really just, my blood was boiling. I was like, we can't keep continuing on this same path. We need to bring light to the modern day military spouse, the modern day military life, and really putting spouses back in the front seat versus the back seat on this journey, because there's way too much talent in this space to continue operating like that. And I hope to continue shining light on all of the incredible, makers, creators, entrepreneurs, and all of those that are making a huge opportunity work even in a corporate career.
So a question on that is, so the Spousely name, you talk military spouses, but who can use the platform and goes through, like, it changed? Because I hear it could go through, it is not just people who are on active duty military spouses, right?
Yeah. So I know sometimes, I get some feedback on that. Some people either love the name Spousely, or some people are like, oh, is Spousely, has that been really limiting for you? At the end of the day, a name is a name, right? There's so many crazy names out there. It's all about brand awareness and what you're putting in front of people. So yes, anyone can come onto Spousely to shop and support. There's no registration, nothing. You can literally, if you are just a supporter and you want to come onto Spousely and purchase a product from one of these business owners, you just go on and you shop just like you would on Etsy or Amazon or anywhere else. But on the vendor side, all of our vendors are approved, either military or first responder connected. Not everybody is a spouse. We have a lot of service members. We have a lot of, veterans, and it's just really showing that light that needs to be shined more on the spouse angle, because I'm sure this, Jake. I mean, you ask any, veteran or active duty person, how they're able to make it all work. A lot of times they'll say, because my spouse is helping so much, or my spouse is able to help be the glue. Well, it's time that we give spouses their own spotlight to shine. And also everyone else is always welcome, but this is our time to shine.
I see. And the big thing that people understand too, and realize is, once you're on the platform, if you're doing that and all of a sudden the spouse is off active duty, you're still on the platform, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And as you said, some of them turned in that the spouse has started an opportunity, and then the veteran retires or leaves, and they make a company and work together on the platform. All those are awesome.
And that is my favorite thing. We have a lot of husband and wife duos, which is so cool. One of our vendors, she's a military spouse. Her husband's active duty. He does woodworking and she does all different types of different products. They both have their own businesses on Spousely. And we've just got so many inspiring stories. But yes, you know, I always say when one person serves, the entire family serves too. And that really is our core.
I know you mentioned in there on the competition, like, so Amazon military, which I had not heard of, so I guess it's a good thing, right? But Amazon military and what Etsy's doing, others, but you were talking about what makes them, they don't have the special sauce. I think you said it in there when we were talking before that it's a mug is a mug, but the story is what makes the difference. And I wonder if you could share some more on that idea.
Absolutely. You know, nothing is stopping another company like Etsy just developing out, you know, a military arm. Nothing is stopping them. They have not done it yet. And that's something that I think is very important. At the end of the day, it's just going to be an arm off of their business, where Spousely, this is our core. This is our focus. That's what makes us truly different than any other marketplace out there, is we are focused on supporting and giving back to all of our families. And then what was your next question? Sorry, I missed the piece.
Oh, that was it. What you were talking, the stories.
The stories. Yes, the stories are huge. And it is so important. So yes, at the end of the day, like, I get it. You can go buy, can't see it, a mug. You can go buy, you know, artwork or anything from anywhere else. But what truly separates, you know, our community is our vendor stories. A lot of these businesses started maybe when their spouse was deployed, or maybe they're a Gold Star family. And this small business is what's helping continue to push their family forward. So that's where I've really seen a huge opportunity for us to continue shining light on how amazing our community is, which is why, you know, media has been great for us and developing out a media arm. And it's just getting those consumers to see, if you purchase with purpose, you're doing so much more than just shopping. You are directly making a big impact.
This has been great. So I think it's time we can finish here to go through. I know a lot of you probably have some great questions you want to ask Monica, but you all have lots of important tasks here to do. So you need to go on Spousely and check it out and find something to buy. And then I hadn't even been thinking about it. We talked about it as if you have a corporate, you know, something you need to give gifts to a lot of different people, come to Spousely and you'll know the background of where it came from. And of course, from an investment standpoint, Monica's been, I know we've been talking to you a long time, and in background, I'm like, not ready yet. And now you're like, it's time to raise. This is one of the first rounds that she's been able to do and bootstrap from here. So this is everybody on the call's opportunity to participate in what Spousely is doing. Not only is it an investment, but, you know, making a difference in the community. So thank you, Monica, for being able to come in here. It's, you know, I was excited we have a chance to do that. So we're going to wrap up our